What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from the Ferndale Project, and they're out of Ferndale, Michigan, and this is their Mistletoe Glow. So they're calling this one a double New England IPA that is brewed and double dry hopped with Dorado, Simcoe, and Sultana hops. It comes in at 9.6% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed time of review. This can is just under 5 weeks old. I'm going to give a huge thanks shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Jeff, aka NoJinx, for hooking me up with this one. So big thanks to him for this beer. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies he hooked me up with, and he hooked me up with 4 different Ferndale Project beers. 3 of them were New England Double IPAs, and the other one was a New England Triple IPA. So I'm reviewing this one first because it's the oldest. There's 2 that were dated 12/15 of 2022, and then 2 that were dated 12/29 of 2022. So I'm getting to this one first, also because it's festive. Mistletoe Glow. Love the label. I love the holidays. I love, Thanksgiving and Christmas. So even though we're in the middle of January right now, I love this label, and it's put me in the festive mood. So anyway, again, I love all the information they have on here. Canned on 12/15 right on the label. Double dry hopped, Dorado, Simcoe and Sultana hops. The only thing is they don't put an ABV, so I had to look this up. According to Untapped, and I believe their Instagram, 9.6%. So it's approaching triple IPA realm. But yeah, anyway, let's get into the glass. I've heard a lot of great things about Ferndale, courtesy of Jeff and some other Michigan folk that watch the channel and that I'm friends with on Untapped. So I'm really hoping that these are delicious. So let's give it a pour here. Yeah, that's looking like, a New England Double IPA for sure. Try to do a decent pour here. Something like that. We will put this over here. So Sultana is one of those hops I've only had, a handful of times. I don't know what to expect from this beer. Dorado, Simcoe, and Sultana is a very interesting hop combo. I don't know, I've specifically had that hop combo, so I'm excited. So yeah, that has that honey orange color. Looks like a lot of, old school, like other half beers. Murky turbid, can't see through it. Just under, or maybe just appropriately, I'd say would be a 2-finger head. Off-white, eggshell white, somewhat creamy. There's some bigger bubbles mixed in. Yeah, it looks beautiful. It looks like what you would expect a beer to look like when you're talking about this style. Let's get a nose. Wow, that's nice. Wow. And I keep on saying wow because I'm getting this really overripened, sticky, sweet peach. Maybe like mango, papaya, sweeter, stickier, fleshier fruits. Like it just like a fruit cup is in front of me. Zesty citrus, like an orange, tangerine, something like that. There's a nice, fresh, like tomato stalk, grassy, like you're just walking through the garden kind of aroma. Maybe faint hints of like a passion fruit or like a white grape. Something that if I was doing this blind, I would think maybe Galaxy or Nelson Sauvins in here. Again, I don't really know what Sultana brings to the table as much as Simcoe and Dorado. Simcoe definitely gives you that dankness. I'm getting that here a little bit as well. A lot of times I get peach, so maybe that overripened, sticky, sweet peach is kind of coming from the Simcoe as well. Dorado is one of those hops, like back in the day, you used to get like watermelon and strawberry, not so much anymore. Yeah, it smells like a fresh hazy that has a lot of complexity to the hop aroma from the fruit, tropical, stone, citrus, the whole 9, dank, grassy. Just smells really good. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Jeff. That's a really good, tasty haze is what this is. First thing I will say I'm somewhat impressed with is a 9.6%, and you can't really tell on the palate. I'd guess 7.5%, 8%. Hides it extremely well for something that's almost approaching 10%. That's the first thing I noticed. The body and the mouthfeel. Body's like higher side of medium, so it's appropriate for what I'm looking for. Like I've mentioned this before, and Hop Butcher's one of those breweries that's making a lot of their 7.5%, 8% bodies like really thick, and I do enjoy that. But I still think I like it a little bit thinner because it makes it more easy to drink. Where those thick, double IPAs, once you get down to like the last third of the can, like it's just from a mouthfeel perspective and a body, it's like you don't want to chew. You want something to be somewhat sessionable or refreshing when you're drinking these to some degree. At least I do. So little bigger bodies sometimes are a hindrance. This though, great body for what it is. Some folks might think it's thin considering the ABV. I don't. Mouthfeel, maybe a little bit more carbonation than I'm accustomed to with this style, but it has a nice, smooth and creamy kind of vibe to it. So really nice overall body and mouthfeel. The taste, it's funny because the nose carried over, but in like different ways. Right at the front of the palate, I'm hit with like candied, sweeter citrus notes, like a candied orange, grapefruit, maybe a touch of like a tangerine. And as it passes through, remember I was saying I was getting hints of like a passion fruit and white grape? I'm getting that a little bit more on the taste. I'm getting more of like a passion fruit, like right after that citrus, and a little bit of like a white grape kind of feel. Again, I would think there's Nelson and maybe Galaxy in here if I was doing this wine. The peach sneaks in after that, but as soon as the peach hits, it transitions into this dank, green grassy kind of vibe. Again, walking through a garden. The grass just got cut and you're smelling that fresh cut grass, but maybe it rained out, a little bit of a dewy sensation. There's a mild to moderate bitterness here, but this has a pretty firm dryness. I would say this is semi to full-on dry, more approaching the full-on side of dryness. So while it has all that sweet, malt character at the front of the palate, that it's funny with a lot of these. I mean, 9.6%. Obviously, the malt is the thing driving the ABV, and you don't really taste the malt. You taste all the hop characters that the malt is propping up, right? So it's sweet from a hop character standpoint, which is all that fruitiness. So you just, in your mind, you're thinking fruit characters and then the sweetness. So that's why I'm getting like candied orange, candied grapefruit, and then sweeter over-ripened peach and passion fruit and stuff like that, right? But it's not crazy sweet. This is not cloying. It's it's not going to be too much at the end of the can. It's just really good. I did keep this upside down just in case they're like Hop Butcher or some of the other breweries where like you get a bunch of goodies at the end. I don't think that's going to be the case. We'll pour the rest in, take one more sip, and then we will rate it. But my first beer from Ferndale, I must say, it's pretty good. I think Ferndale is a subsidiary of the Eastern Market Brewing Company, which is, I believe, in Detroit. I think I went to the Eastern Market when I did the Detroit Fall Beer Festival back-to-back years. I think it was 2014-15. I think that was in the Eastern Market. So they probably have like a Ferndale Project, more of like a hazy kind of offshoot of their brewery in Ferndale, Michigan, which isn't that far from down in Detroit. Anyway, yeah, this is really good. Like I said, right as I took a sip, this is really good haze. That's what this is. If you're in and around the Detroit, Ferndale area and you want good hazies, like this beer, to me, I don't know what the other ones are going to hold in comparison, like how they're going to hold up to this one. But I'd imagine, again, Jeff, others from Michigan who drink Ferndale stuff, they say they make good haze. And this is my first experience with a Ferndale Project beer, and this is good haze. So rating wise on this one, oh yeah, 9.6%. I've said it before, I'll say it again. As I continue drinking on, there's a nice warming in the chest, no astringency on the palate. So again, something approaching triple IPA realm. This hides the alcohol extremely well, and it makes it much more drinkable because the body is, again, higher side of medium as opposed to like low full or medium full. So I like that. So Mistletoe Glow, double New England IPA from Ferndale. Absolutely no issues giving this a low 4.25 out of 5 and go 4.2. I think that's where this lands, and I just love the label too. I might have to say this label, even though the beer wasn't like, 5 out of 5 or whatever. Behind me on the pretentious wall of bottles and cans, you guys know that a lot of times I just put, different labels up there that I love. It doesn't necessarily have to be an amazing beer or anything. And I think I might save this can and put it behind me because it gives me the festive feel. So price point and availability, I have no idea. This is where Jeff, you hopefully come through, or Phil or anybody else from Michigan watches this. I would hope something like this is in the $20 a 4-pack range. If it's better than that, like $18 a 4-pack, side me up. If it's a little bit pricey, $22, $24, all right, I understand. It's 9.6, but I'd like to see this in the $20 a 4-pack range. And availability, I think it's only at the brewery. Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they don't get distro. But if they do, somebody let me know. Again, I don't know much about Ferndale. I just see my friends checking them in on tap. I see folks talking very highly about them. So at the end of the day, I'm really happy I'm able to not only try this one, but 3 others, all because of Jeff. So huge thanks to Jeff for this beer. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.